A very good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And we are taking a look on what's happening in Namibia. And we now have a position where Zanu PF managed to influence the elections in Namibia. And we have seen how these elections have been chaotic since yesterday. At 3 p.m., we started to hear news about shortages of ballot papers, and we also have an issue where the police at a certain point in time had to stop people from entering into the polling stations. All those issues are issues of concern, and those are the effects and problems of having Zanu PF in the region. So when we are looking at what was happening in Namibia, Wikino Chivayo won the tender through that company, Yanoshanda Nayo in South Africa. They got this tender, and that is the same company which was printing ballots right in Zimbabwe. We experienced shortages of ballot papers in Zimbabwe. The same way there were shortages of ballot papers in Namibia, in urban areas, to be precise, in opposition strongholds, to be precise. The same thing which happened in Zimbabwe, it has happened in Namibia right there. And the company which printed the ballot paper is the same company. So one of the major issues is we need to look at this and understand the script. In all strongholds of SWAPO, you don't have issues of delays in terms of delivery of ballot papers. You only have issues in the strongholds of the opposition. Something wrong right there. And the Electoral Commission of Namibia also confirmed that is the situation, and that is what was happening. They spoke about that issue. And yes, they reported widely about voter suppression activities happening where some people were denied an opportunity to go and express themselves, to go and vote. Look at all these people. These are people who have been crying foul of what was happening right there in Namibia. And ZANU PF strategies and tactics are at the center stage of everything. And this is something which is so concerning. So at this point in time, you could actually see that polling stations were closing at 9 p.m. and shortages of ballot papers started as early as 3 p.m. And the officials from the ESCN were no longer picking their phone calls. They were no longer available. And that is what we saw happening in Manicaland, Harare, where Nelson Chamisa was set voter suppression. Nelson Chamisa still won by very, very big margins. Imagine if those people had been allowed to vote. This is the reason why I said in Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa was denied by 12 to 13% of the people were denied their ability to vote. To be precise, according to the report, is 12% of the eligible voters were denied their access to vote through voter suppression tactics. And if you put that 12%, take 6% out of it, give it to Nelson Chamisa, he could have won this. Put the percentage was given compared to and add 6% to it. You could actually have seen that Nelson Chamisa would have won this election overwhelmingly. So this is the same tactic used right there in Namibia, because all they wanted was to stop people. So look at it. These are people scrambling to get into the voting center. They were just being denied by the people to vote in this video. And it's something very, very important to note that this is how voter suppression happens, and this is the tactic which has been used by ZANU PF several times. We have seen it being used in Namibia as well. Then there is something which is of importance which we need to take a look upon. Results have started trickling in, and we need to take note of the counted areas. SWAPO strongholds, the gap is too wide. You can actually see that IPC, which is the leading opposition so far, it does have 73 at a certain polling center, and SWAPO had 397. So if you look at the gap, it's a very big gap if you look at it in such a way, which means if SWAPO continues to win big in its strongholds, and if voter suppression tactics worked in the strongholds of the opposition, what it means is SWAPO will win. So if you look at this one, Nandi Ndaitwa got 413, Itula Panduleni got 80. So if you look at it, the margins are so big. But remember, I said these are strongholds of SWAPO, non-strongholds, the traditional strongholds of SWAPO. And then this makes us question the actual agenda of suppressing votes in the urban areas. What made the Electoral Commission of Namibia fail to bring ballot papers in time? Imagine they'd printed more than 400,000 ballot papers as additional ballot papers, but they couldn't provide those ballot papers in time. It's something which needs to be asked, and it's something which needs an explanation. Where were the 400,000 plus? So it's something, registered people in Namibia's election were around 1.5 million. 1.5 million is not a big number. It's not a number which can't be managed. It's a very small number. In Zimbabwe, they were dealing with around 4 million people. So imagine dealing with 4 million people versus 1.5 million people. Look at it, it's something else. Botswana conducted the best election so far in the SADC region. Yes, there were attempts, but it seems as if the institutions in Botswana, they were well alert and well in place to avoid such rigging tactics from happening. So it's something very important, something which can be ignored, something which need to talk much about. But remember, found right there, who are actually in Namibia, in the strongholds of the opposition, it seems as if they published the results. They are doing so well so far, and there is a great possibility and a great chance that the opposition might emerge victorious in this election. And if SWAPO is to win, the probability that they are going to win is not so high. And so at this point in time, it's very difficult to tell which political party is going to win between SWAPO and IPC, given that we have seen the majority of the supporters of the IPC being suppressed to vote. So voter turnout was so high, very high. And the Namibian Election Commission had to admit that people overwhelmed the ballots. People went out to vote in their numbers, which means that there is a great possibility that new first-time voters will be voting out SWAPO and be bringing in change in the nation of Namibia. So it's very interesting to see these things happening. And from the side of President Nelson Chamisa, he was represented well. Gift Zimbabwe was there in Namibia observing these elections, and it's a great thing. It's a good thing to see such things happening, and it's something which is very important. And we'll be waiting to see how everything is going to unfold as results start to trickle in. But the ECN will need to be held accountable. We have seen the IPC making a statement that they are now moving to make sure that they to quote, they were consulting if they can take the matter to court, and it's something very, very important. So take a look on another set of results as well, so that we get to understand what is happening. So here's another set of results right here in another area. IPC is leading, but if you look at it, the margins of IPC, they are at 360 votes, and SWAPO is 200. If you look at where SWAPO is winning, they are winning with quite wider margins as well. And you can see this is 526 for Itula Panduleni and 313 for Nandi Ndaitwa. And this is something which is of concern, but still that is so looking so good. There is hope of victory in Namibia right there, despite the allegations of voter suppression, despite irregularities happening there, despite rigging tactics of ZANU-PF. We warned the Namibians several times about the appearance of ZANU-PF right there. And these are the results which we are seeing right now. We have seen what happened since yesterday. So we are going to continue to look and see how everything is going to unfold, how everything is going to work out. But I believe and I hope that the opposition who have to win in this election. We need elections to be won. That's how people were determined to vote. There were very, very big queues right there, as you can see. But people were determined to make sure that they cast their votes and they register their presence to make SWAPO get defeated. So, we keep our fingers crossed. But hear me well. At this point in time, we can't tell which party can make it, which party is going to win this election so far. But we are hoping and believing that things will work. Give me, my network is bad. It's raining this side, which means we are likely going to have a bad signal in terms of network. And Namibians should rise. Yes, we'll see how the Namibians are going to respond to this. And Glod, thank you very much as well for coming. I don't have much time of the network side. This side, it's raining, so it's likely that my network is dropping up and down. I'm not so sure what. Thank you very much as well for coming. Anzana Jake, I'm in Namibia. Thank you very much, my brother Jake. How is Namibia? I hope and believe that everything is well. And likes you make, so we need your assistance. We need, thank you, my brother for the update. Thank you very much, Dina, for coming as well. Nelson Bere, thank you very much, my brother. Says to tell signs were there all the way. ZANU-PF was meddling. Opposition should have demanded transparency with expulsion of ZANU elements. Let's see. Okay, thank you very much as well. Glod says the opposition should have continued to demonstrate, demanding the removal of Chivayo Company in any election-related matters. Now they have no way they can reverse this. Yes, that is true. It's now up to them. But at this point in time, we remain positive because from the people on the ground, there's overwhelming support right there from the Namibians. And if the opposition loses, margins will be very, very, very small. not that big. So very interesting moments, Team Zimbabwe. I love you all, and thank you very much everyone for coming. Let us meet in other episodes.